Okay. So, next session for Lost in Translation project. Today, first of all, we need to discuss where are we going to work today, because firstly, we were talking about to finish the. Well, I'm going to make a short brief for Nora. We are working on right now. I think you already saw. We were working on the website. We have like a minimum content already set, in which we call the beta version for the website. And now we are working on how to show all the projects, people, circles, and so on of CivicWise on the website. So the idea was to have like an internal system on the website in which each member with a user and a password directly in the website could load projects or maybe upload a new circle or edit the information of a circle or its own profile with a brief description of him or her, contact info, related connections, and blah, blah, blah. So we were working on the information that we need to show about projects, which is, I don't know if you saw the document. I'm going to share also here on a slide.
It's the Google Doc with the project form. Yeah, I've been looking at it. Yeah, I've gone through it, yeah.
Okay, so we're working on that. There's some points that we need to close down, but I think it's almost there. It's almost finished. And we were talking about to work today on profile forms for users, for CivicWise members. So to think about and to work on which information we need or we want to see about other members in CivicWise in that profile. So build that form. And is this document, this Google Doc, I'm going to share it also on Slack. So by now, what I put here is the first approach that we have done on other sessions, other Hangout sessions before, and we need to work on it and to finish it. So the agenda for today, we need to decide, because Artemi was also proposing to talk about GlocalCam communication. GlocalCam, I think that we talked to you about it, Nora, about the event.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the next April in Canary Island, and we need to work on it also. Artemi is coordinating that event along with other members in Canary Island, and he was proposing to the same team that is working on the website and CivicWise communication to give a hand in the communication for GlocalCam. So it's another topic that we need to discuss, how are we going to do this and how we can help for that. So I don't know if we have time in 1 hour to go along the 3 topics, to give another, I don't know how to say, repaso in English, to go along all the project form and finish it, then to work a little bit on the CivicWise members profile, and then to talk about GlocalCam. So,
I think we can a little bit postpone the user form,
okay,
and do the Glocal thing now,
okay,
and do the user form next week, because I think there are many stuff to discuss. I mean, the Glocal communication during Glocal, before Glocal, and after Glocal. So I think we can just do this hangout for that and do the user form next week. And in the meantime, we will, I think, receive all these feedbacks for the project form. Maybe it's better, so we use it for the user form as well. We use these feedbacks.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I don't know because, for example, Nora, I don't know if you saw yesterday that I put that maybe we were talking about GlocalCam, and maybe you were more interested in know more about this mapping network and everything. So if you take a look,
I really don't mind.
Okay. It's just if you want to give some, if you take a look on the project form and you want to give some feedback, maybe we can take, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes for that. If you want to give feedback, something that you want to share about this, and then we can spend the other 45 minutes in GlocalCam.
Okay, well, I had some notes, so maybe I can just go through them. And since I'm just jumping in this from the first time, you just tell me if it's topics you've already discussed and decided for certain reason or whatever, okay? Shall I go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. So just for me to clarify, who will be the audience for this project form? Is it people from outside CivicWise, or is it mainly CivicWise users?
The form is for CivicWise users to upload the project, but that information we need to design a template to show this information properly in the website. But this information is the information which is going to be on the website explaining the project. But the form, the form is for users, for CivicWisers who wants to upload the project on the website.
Okay, fine. So I saw one thing, we're using tags and we're using categories. And when looking at the form, it wasn't clear to me, like the categories are more or less clear, but you can pick several of them. So what are exactly the tags? I think if there's a reason why you guys have decided to use both tags and categories, it has to be very clear what each thing is. Yes, just one thing. If you want, I can later write down all these notes so that you have them.
Okay. Yeah. You can maybe put comments on the Google Doc or whatever.
Directly. Okay. Then the budget. I was thinking it's interesting also to show, not just to know the whole budget, but how the costs were distributed. Like maybe give and just keep it simple. But I think it's really interesting to know, depending on what kind of project, where did the money go? If some things, some expenses very, very high, if transport, a lot of money went on transport, or if a lot of money went on wages or licenses. I think for somebody that is maybe doing a similar project and is looking into this one to know how it goes, I think that's useful.
Okay.
Then work group. I was wondering, is it clear for everyone at CivicWise these roles that are defined, like coordinator, contributor, and participant? If we're not sure if that's completely clear or used the same way everywhere, might be good to just do that, add an extra clarification there. Well, then just a tiny thing where it says where it says partners, I would put stakeholders. Is a very common word for projects. I don't know if you guys use it. Well, then it wasn't clear to me what the production space means, so I would maybe add an extra. I don't know if that's something is because I'm new, or but
no, it's
the same for everyone. Don't worry.
It was a big debate last session also.
Okay, then maybe let's not go into that now. But if you guys, since I'm fresh, if you guys want to tell me at some other point what it is, and maybe I can write together with you something that makes it clear what production space is. The collaboration technologies, I think that is super, super interesting and super useful for people that are starting with CivicWise to know what technologies you're using, which ones you're not, because I'm starting to think about a lot of tools that, for example, I use and I'm not seeing them in CivicWise. So I think that point should be quite relevant because it helps a lot in terms of collaboration. And then I had a few ideas. And I don't know if they complicate the whole thing a lot or not, so you're free to tell me. So I was thinking it would be interesting to start the form with a status section where we say if it's coming soon, in progress, or finished. Because if you start with that, you can decide what kind of form you show later to the user. If it's a project that is finished, obviously he wants to go through the full form. But if it's coming soon, maybe you just want to announce that you're starting on this project and you're looking for collaborators, and that can make it possible to show a very short form that is not scary, when you're starting a project. That would mean breaking it into 2 steps. The first step, choosing the status, and the second step, showing a form. That complicates the development, and well, I don't know, but it's just an idea. I wanted to throw it there. Then in the description, it says provide a description of minimum 100 words, right?
Mm-hmm.
My feeling is that I think a short one-line description would be really, really useful if you're browsing through projects and looking for something specific, to get a short one-liner that helps you know if you want to go and look into that project or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we could provide examples of how that one-liner can look like. There's pre-established formats for elevator pitches or things like that. So we could provide for an example so that it's easier for the people to write in one line. And then something that could be an idea is then the full description, the bigger one, to fragment it in sections to give all projects a common structure. And the kind of sections that I'm thinking about are, for example, what's the background of the project, what's the scope of the project, what's the objective, even what was the aftermath of the project if it's finished. These things help people to write structured, and also and not to miss important things when describing a project. Because when you describe a project, you tend to extend a lot, focusing on the moment you are in the project, not necessarily on the global view. So if you chunk it up, you help people to describe it, and also, again, it helps scanning through projects. If I'm looking for a similar project with a certain scope or background. Then another idea in the section of the part where you upload files, I would separate working files from deliverables. Often when you finish a project, working files can lose importance, and the more important things are the deliverables. So I think it could be interesting to separate those.
Mm-hmm.
And then just one last random idea. If people don't upload an image for the project, which I don't think people should be forced to upload an image for the project, but it's true that it helps distinguish a project from another if it has an image. So I was wondering if it could be possible to, in case there's no image, to upload a random generated image like they do with avatars sometimes in social networks. So if people don't care putting up a picture, it's fine because they look different from the next. That's a nice to have. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay. I oppose to having no images in any projects, because I think what we are doing, all of us, is a very visual profession anyhow. Mm-hmm. There has to be an image anyhow. If you are doing a website, even there is the screenshot. I think we don't need a kind of an avatar image to. If you don't have any image, then I don't think there is any work. it is too visual.
Fair enough.
And about the text, we can do fragments to make it easier for people to understand. This is why we try to write all these, what is the contextual background and stuff like that in the description of the text. But I think we have to keep the text as one area. I mean, what you said is a kind of a small summary, as Pascual mentioned in the Google Docs. As well, we use this idea of something like a tweet, like a very 280 characters of a text. But other than that, I think we should keep the text area just one, so that it is easier for people to just, because most of the time you write the texts already and you just paste it everywhere. So I don't think that it is best. It might be best how you said, because you can go through everything much more easier. But for people to kind of every time deconstruct and reconstruct their own project texts over and over again might not be so easy, because when you are like submitting it to the municipality or submitting to any client or doing a presentation, you already write something. So you just kind of can copy paste all these fragments and make a new one easier. That was my idea, and I insisted a lot on keeping the text in just one place so that it doesn't get hard for people to participate. That was my comments on.
I think it's a really good point, and maybe instead of breaking it up in pieces, maybe it could be again like a little guide of, if you haven't written your text, think about telling about the background, the scope, but keep it in one. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that about that, because I also think that once we launch this system and once we start to use it, I guess that we are going to be updating, seeing how the community, how the network use it. Because, for example, right now we have this tweet section, which Julia mentioned. I think that it could be useful for that, to have like a small text that explain the project, but it's not mandatory as we have it right now. So, and for me, that could be fine in this beta understanding of the form, which is, okay, see which projects have a tweet on it explaining the project, and let's see how it works. Have some data about the public who check the projects, who doesn't check the project. I mean, so we can compare the projects that use this tweet and the project doesn't use this tweet. So we can compare if it's good to have this small text or if it isn't. So I don't know. And another comment is that I think that one interesting thing that is coming up is, I mean, linking. One thing that Nora said, I don't know exactly what is the idea, but it was to have like another simplified form, maybe on the first step of a project, and also put here in status to add a coming soon project, also not just in progress or complete, but way that are going to happen but doesn't start yet. And I think it's interesting this, I mean, like the platform for the project, not just like, okay, you finish the project, you upload the project, but a tool for people to build the proposal of the project. So you start with a small, maybe we don't just one form, we need like different forms in all the process of the project. So you have a first form to upload the project when it's going to come in soon. So maybe even you can use this if you need a specific collaborator for your team or whatever, you can engage people of the network through this. Then when it is in progress, you have another form in which you can upload more information that you have in that point of the project. And then when it's completed, you have another form in which you can update the information that you have on the project. So you're building this information on a process, and not just in one day that you have to upload all the information and you have to brief your project and so on. So I don't know. Okay. Anyone else, or
So
we
what do you think if with these comments from Nora and from everyone else, we can launch a first version of the form and get feedback from the community? Okay, and then we can reveal if needed.
Yeah, good for me. What I think that we need to think about it is how we launch to the network. I mean, we just throw the Google Doc and wait for feedback, or maybe we build this form in a Google form so people can try to use it. I don't know, or just directly on launching it on WordPress, or.
Yeah, I think the best way is to launch it directly in WordPress.
Okay.
So we can test it in the website.
Okay. Well, for that, I guess that we can give us a few days to close down all the comments or suggestions that we already have on the document. And then when we have the form clean, you can build it on WordPress.
Right, yeah.
And in the meantime, do we also have but we already have some templates, right? To show the projects? Okay.
Okay. Also about this, about the templates, I was talking with, speaking with Jonathan to know about his availability of time to work on that. So I tried to talk with him and see if he can do it, or maybe we do both of us, or I don't know, but to start to work on that. Also for templates for profile use for CivicWise members and so on. So.
And are you waiting the answer from Jonathan, or you have?
I'm going to talk with him next Monday.
Okay.
And try to organize ourselves to work on that. Also to organize this graphic book about the branding of CivicWise and so on that we were also discussing in another Hangout sessions. So talk with him also, trying to organize that, to have that for GlocalCamp in 2 months. So.
Okay.
Okay. So we go to GlocalCamp?
Yes.
Well, GlocalCamp.
Tell us, Artemi, what do you want?
What do you need?
I need a help for everybody. Please.
Tell us. Tell us.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I was writing in the meeting minutes. I was talking with Pascual these last days about how to use the communication team of Lost in Translation to develop the communication of a local camp. So we are now in the last phase of the organization of local camp. We have 2 months, and we need help with the website, for example, because we are trying to get money to be sustainable economically. So we are now in the middle of some meetings, important meetings with some institution, companies, etc. And we need to show them how the local camp works. How is that? How was the last editions? Who is inside of a global camp, the network, the support companies, etc. And as well, because Alfonso and Julia, for example, in the last local camp, were working on the Donkey Journal. And that's important as well, because we have to think about how to communicate during the local camp to make visible for all the community globally, because until now it's difficult to follow the local camp if you don't be there. So it's another evolution of the local camp, and in that point, the Donkey Journal or that kind of communication is very important. So yeah, I think that as well the point of the language, of course, because until now we are how can I say, como tenemos prisa, we are
In a hurry.
yeah, because we have just 2 months, and for the local people it's easier to work in Spanish.
No, it's for me. It's okay. I just couldn't follow it. It's okay.
No. It's not just for you. It's not just for you. It's almost for all the network, because for me it's important to communicate to all of us, but to produce the content, to talk with the public administration, it's have to be in Spanish. So we have to find some ways to communicate and to not work 2 times for the same content, but I need help to communicate in other languages, because for example, Italian people are waiting to know about the local camp, to buy the tickets, to be involved and help us to organize it. So yeah, it's the topics are communication about languages, about the website and social network, how to communicate for the people who want to support or collaborate with local camp. And in the second point, it's not important by now, because because it's for during the camp. It's about the Donkey Journal, about how to communicate during the camp. So that's it.
Okay. Shall I just talk a little bit about the Donkey Journal and what happened and what didn't? The idea was to kind of make live journal during the Glocal camp, the last one in Barcelona. We tried to, with Alfonso, and there were some others in the workshop, we tried to kind of build kind of a website within CivicWise website, which would work as a kind of every workshop could just put some very short summary, but it didn't work out because there had to be kind of an extra work for it, and it didn't work out. But what I was thinking recently, because we also didn't do the restitution of the last Glocal, as far as I know, but after every workshop, we had these like very short 1-minute movies, and I don't know where they are now. If we could just only upload all these ones into that Donkey Journal, maybe it would have worked better, because it is part of the whole protocol of the workshop. It's like 1 hour discussion, half an hour closing up, and 1 minute of 1 or 2 minutes of video. So maybe we can use this idea of the video for it. And also what I saw was kind of a problematic, even for the people who were in the same place there, but were participating in different workshops. Some issues were coming up, and every day some other people were discussing some similar topics, but no one knew what the others were discussing anyhow. So maybe it's also nice to have at the end of each day kind of a wrap-up session where we all watch like all these 2-minute videos all together, and then discuss the next day's workshops. Because, I mean, the finance and the project's governance, they might be talking about the same issue, and then next day maybe they do something together. So, and we can work all these things online so that the whole network knows about it. That might be, I think the best solution is to use these videos that we're taking at the end of each workshop. That's my proposal.
Nora, do you want to say something?
No, my mouth is open.
Okay.
I'm thinking and my mouth open there.
Okay.
Just one thing, Pascual. Okay. I just wanted to say that we are working as well on the local communication during the camp. We are trying to connect with other universities, for example, in Latin America, and maybe some activities of the local could be in live at the same time that we are working in Canary Island. So we have to think about how to communicate in live and how to communicate during the camp, but about this 2-minute video or this kind of communication you can follow not in real time. I mean, it's like you can follow day by day, but not in real life. So we have to think about that, because we are talking with the universities. That is important, because it's another important point to sell some return for some institutions that this event is it's followed in different countries. I mean,
trying to, because I think that we can mix different areas of the communication for GlocalCam. I think it could be useful. I think Julia said it at the beginning of the Hangout, to think about communication for GlocalCam before the GlocalCam, during the GlocalCam, and after GlocalCam. I think that right now we need to focus before GlocalCam also, because I understand that the help that Artemi was asking was for that phase. I mean, for now, to try to communicate the GlocalCam before GlocalCam, which is we need to update a lot of information on the website of GlocalCam. We need people also generating contents and information for social media of GlocalCam. I mean, trying to sell the event. So on the next, the following weeks, with the meetings that Artemi is going to have in Canary Island, trying to reach fundings and money for GlocalCam. So, I mean, have this support globally with this communication support. So focusing on that, I think that what would be useful, well, first of all, to understand how to make all this communication. What information we need on the website, what information we need to share on social media, information where and whatever. So try to think on that. And for that, I guess that the more efficient way to do it is to have specific people to take care of this, which I guess, which I understand also that Artemi was asking, which is this. I mean, the same team that is making the communication work on Lost in Translation, do it for this, to try to help on thinking these contents and try to generate and produce these contents, and to do this work, to work on the website, to work on social media, blah, blah, blah. The only doubt that I have there is that I think, because Artemi was also saying that maybe we can okay. Well,
but now there are
two
of you. This is really kind of wow.
This is locality.
Bipolar. Okay.
Okay.
There's only one.
No, I was just saying that I think that we need specific people taking care of these tasks for communication before GlocalCam, from today to the GlocalCam. And that my doubt, my bigger fear is that Artemi, I think that he was saying to use the same team that is doing this for Lost in Translation to do it and for the GlocalCam, which I think is, for me, are two different things. So whether we do both things, the same people, or we choose. But for me, are two different things to work. I mean, to give work, for example, on these user forms and project forms and blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, trying to work also generating contents for GlocalCam communication, working on the GlocalCam website and blah, blah, blah. Or choose between both. But I think that are different things. So.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. two different projects. Or maybe Artemi, you were thinking in use something that we are producing in Lost in Translation to communicate local camp.
I don't know exactly. I was thinking about you are working together from some months. You are working about communication, and you know about the technical things website. You know about communication. You know about everything that we need now to communicate the global camp. I think it's an important moment because I think local camp is the main project or the most local project of the community, and we are trying to get money. So if we push all together to show the power of the network, we have more possibilities to take money and to be possible to make sustainable the event. So for all of you will be better because maybe in the other local camps we were some problems with money because the people came there and they don't think about spend money for I don't know, maybe transport or to eat something or I don't know. I think it's about all of us, and I think it's. I was thinking just all of you, the group of community of communication, because it's the easy way to work on that. Because to make another group of communication or to I don't know, to choose another people who want to be part of that but don't know about the dynamics or methodology of communication of Pacific Wise, I don't know, could be difficult. It's just a purpose. I know that they are two different projects.
Okay, maybe we can stop the activity of the website during, I don't know, 2 weeks and spend this time on local camp communication. I don't know what you think, the rest of the team, but from my point of view, we don't have the time, at least me, I don't have the time to spend in both projects at the same time. So for me, there is no problem. We can stop the development of the website for 2 weeks, I don't know, maybe 3, and spend this time in local camp communication because I agree with Artemi. It's really important to communicate in the right way the local camp.
I
so
think
maybe today we can, and I finish. Maybe today we can make a short list of things that we must do, and then we can evaluate the time we need to do that. Maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and from the next week we can begin to work on it.
I think that the Hangout session on local camp, the next that we have scheduled the next Monday will be for this topic for communication. Is that right, Artemi?
Next one would be next Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. I said Monday. Sorry.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
next Tuesday at 1 for you in Madrid time.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. And that one were thought for that topic, for communication.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we can. I mean, we can.
I think it's too important the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
We were talking with Pascual and the last session of Global Camp that the next 2 or 3 weeks we have to decide how much money we have and how many activities we have to do, and the program could be more clear after the next 3 weeks. So we have to push this last time to try to find it the money.
I agree with Alfonso. We can pause the Lost in Translation for a couple of weeks and focus on the communication of the glocal, and then maybe continue doing work. At a point, if necessary, we again jump in and pause it for a while. I think we can do that.
I just want to say that I will be 90% working on Global Camp in the next 2 months. So I will be there with the sessions, and I'm sorry about the Lost in Translation work. I was there at the beginning as well, and I would like to help in that way as well. So I don't know. It's your decision.
No, I mean, I think that in Spanish una cosa no quita la otra. I don't know how to translate.
Did you say we don't have any other chance or something like that?
It's like I don't know how to translate it, but it's okay. That we can do both things. We can post Lost in Translation, and at the same time we can keep working on Lost in Translation, because in fact what we are saying is that what we are going to post is the Hangout session of Lost in Translation, but that doesn't mean that maybe one of us, if we can keep going, we can work, for example, on the Google Documents, whatever we can, so we can keep working on it. But we are not spending time with Hangout sessions for this project, but it's not post. So we are working on Lost in Translation, but the Hangout sessions are for Google Camp. So we can do both.
And also we have a new blood, Nora. So
yeah.
Right.
So for me it's okay. To next 2-3 weeks we don't have Hangout sessions for Lost in Translation, but we try to keep working on it on the Google Docs, and we go for communication for Google Camp.
I don't know if you had some goals to arrive to the glocal with some. So maybe it's interesting as well to, I don't know, in March or after these 2 or 3 weeks to make some priorities, because for the Global Camp as well is very interesting to finish some things of the networks, or to show the people who is involved. I don't know, just thinking.
Yeah, the idea was that the goal in the place was that to have as much as we can this system developed and finished for the Global Camp. But let's see. I mean, we keep working on it, and maybe after this post of Lost in Translation session, we can reschedule goals for Global Camp and see what time we have and what is left to do. So let's see. But
Okay.
I wanted to say something about the languages. Artemi, you were that is a challenge right now, right? With needing to talk in Spanish for the potential fundraising, and then right. In my experience, when we had multilingual teams, I mean, it's always a mess. I don't think there's a good solution. But in the end, we always, what we always did is work in English, and then that one translated to wherever languages you needed extra. Because that means you have all the manpower that you can have for working, and you only spend effort on translating. And I was thinking now with the local camp, like somebody like me that doesn't have context and doesn't know anything, but if you give me a final piece of material, I can translate it into English or into Spanish or whatever, I mean, I think you can use the whole CivicWise community for small pieces of translation of final material. And if you work in English, you can have everybody that wants to participate engaged. It is going to be messy, and you're going to have everything in 2 languages, but I think it can be the less painful solution. That's my 2 cents.
I think that in fact this can be a task that this team. I mean, we can do it. We are working on English during Lost in Translation project. So this communication team for Local Camp could be that role of translate contents. Also because we are going to be uploading contents, for example, for the website of Local Camp. If Artemi is generating contents in Spanish, we can then translate it and use the website to upload it in English. So the whole community, the whole network would go to this place, the website, and understand all the contents there you have in English. Also, you have it in English. So also a role that this team, we can make it like a link between Spanish and.
Let's wait a couple of weeks, then there will be artificial intelligence machines, and it will be all over. Just hang on there.
Because it's only Spanish and English, or is there also Italian as language?
Also Italian.
It's Italian.
Then you definitely need to work in English. And
yeah, but the Italians, they understand Spanish.
And there is also French. Yeah.
And we are working to have some Chinese people as well.
Cool.
I think, I don't know, for posterity, it always, I mean, in the short term, it's going to be a pain in the ass because now you need to talk in Spanish with your people for fundraising. So short term, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but mid and long term, I think it's better to do everything in English and then translate as necessary. Because, yeah, I think that's the, and really, like, honestly, I like doing translation work, so I volunteer for that.
Okay, but for do that, we need people involved on the project, because if we don't have the now okay, but if we don't have it, if I'm alone or we are 3 people and we almost talk in Spanish, and we need the Spanish to talk with the potential collaborators, we don't have hands or time to work, because we don't work fast in English. I mean, me, for example, I need more time to talk and to make content. So it's yeah, now we are hurry, and that's the problem now. But yeah, of course, in the middle term, we need to work in English.
Or maybe you can create like I'm talking out of my head because I don't even know how many people you are and how long have you been working. So I may be saying silly things, but you can make a specific unit of people that take care of this fundraising in Spanish, which is the Hurry thing, and which is this 100% Spanish thing. So have just very few people working on that, and anybody else that wants to collaborate, divert it to somewhere else and get that people focused on fundraising in Spanish and the rest doing other stuff.
Yeah, I have some doubts. If we have always people, if we have always people to translate, maybe we have to work. The coordination team have to work in the language that they feel comfortable, and the extra time is to make that content in another language. For example, Spanish, Italian, or French. If all the local people talk or work in English, Spanish, French, Chinese, whatever, work in the language that they feel comfortable, and then the extra time is to communicate for the rest of the network, because for me it doesn't make sense if we now in Canary Island work in English, we don't feel comfortable, and we have to find people to make the extra time to translate to Spanish. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah, and I think that's I think you guys, the ones that are coordinating, need to decide what is the least painful thing. I mean, if you have a lot of people from the international community that are offering support and commitment, then maybe it's worth doing the effort of working in English, even though it slows you down, which I completely understand. And if you see that actually the people that are going to be more and more involved are mostly or all of them Spanish speaking, then yeah, maybe it makes sense to work in Spanish. You have to assess the thing. But I mean, it's true that working in English slows you down, but I think it's something that you get used to. But maybe this is the worst project to give it a try and to start with it because you're under time pressure. So well, you guys assess it, but yeah, I was just throwing out options.
Okay, how do we do it? Shall we do it? Alfonso proposed to kind of make a to-do list and schedule it.
I think that this is the topic for that session Tuesday.
Okay.
It was like a specific hangout of GlobalCamp to coordinate the communication, to talk up. I mean, to organize everything, to make a list of things to do and organize it. I think, I don't know.
Do we make it next Thursday, or do we join that hangout on Tuesday?
I think that we do it Tuesday with the rest of the people of GlobalCamp. Also because on that session, maybe other people that is not engaged with communication, but it is engaged with the GlobalCamp could be there and be useful.
Yeah, now we fix 2 sessions per week on Tuesday and Friday at the same hour. It's in the Google Calendar of CivicWise. It's at 1 p.m. for Madrid time zone or Barcelona. And yeah, we have 2 sessions. So the next session is tomorrow about how to make possible these collaborations or sponsored or partnerships. And in the first one of the next week, and Tuesday, is about communication.
Okay.
So maybe wait a minute. Maybe I can. Here in the chat, I put the meeting minutes of all the sessions that we are made. And so I don't know if you have some doubts about the GlocalCam board or sessions or topics, or I don't know. The main goal for me, I think, is to show in the website the same information of the dossier, more or less. It's, the program, calendar, the network who is behind of GlocalCam, global network and local network. We have all this information that we have just in Spanish, so we need to translate and to show it in the website. And yeah, after that we can show more what we have, what we are doing. So until now, it's.
Have you decided if the site is it going to be a specific microsite, or is it going to be in the CivicWise website, or have you not decided yet?
We have the site. Okay. I put the link. This is the site, and
okay.
And here is the Google Docs. The second one is the Google Docs that we are working to structure, to organize the website of GlocalCam, how to put that information.
Okay.
So here I put as well the main doc index. You can go to every content of GlocalCam from this one, so you can go deeper. That's all, I think. I don't know if you have some doubts, if you need some specific task or something like that, if you prefer it like that, or I don't know. I insist that I will be 90-100% involved on that, so I'm available to talk always.
Me personally, I'm going to read all of this.
Perfect. So I wait your suggestions, and you have to talk or whatever. Just talk to me. So you are in Nora. You are in the GlocalCam channel, I think so, right?
And no, I still have to enter.
Okay. Can I invite you?
Go ahead.
Okay. You are inside now. You are part of the global camp.
Now I
Okay. Anything else?
Okay. No, I guess we have an hour. So we see each other again Thursday at 1 p.m.
Yes, for me it's okay.
Luis, say
Okay.
something. Luis, please. Want to hear
No,
you.
no, no, you are doing it very well, really. I'm very proud of you.
He is our like visible spy, sitting there, just, like watching us. But
Supporter.
he's just interrupt if something really goes wrong. It's just like
Really, really wrong. Really, really wrong.
Clap your hands or something.
What?
Clap your hands or something.
Or complaining about anything.
No complaints. It's a new year, 2018. No complaints. Usual, scared with so many work ahead.
Now we have the carnival here, so if you have to come here and help, and maybe it's a mix about the work and carnival.
Artemi, please. Artemi, please. You were saying I will be working 90% on this.
The other 10%. The other 10%. You are.
I can't believe it. It's serious. It wasn't a good idea to make a local camp in Canary Island. What fucking idea is that? Is it?
You will see. You will see.
Okay.
And where in Tenerife are we going to be?
Yeah. What? Sorry?
We are going to be in Tenerife, right?
Yeah, in Tenerife for sure. But we are working on to have as well in Gran Canaria. So we have to take care about the logistics things.
Artemi is looking for boats, jets, planes.
Yeah, we have. You have to enjoy the way between the island to make fun.
The seven islands.
Cool.
Okay.
Workshops, Julia workshops, no? Islands, workshops, and no?
Yeah, we should do kind of. I would be running a mobile workshop on a boat.
For instance, ideas.
Yeah, might be.
Will be known on the future as the local camp of the 7 islands. Like.
We are working on it.
Okay, people.
Guys, go to work.
We have one person watching the YouTube link, which is Mario. Oh, hello, Mario, and goodbye, Mario.
Hey, Mario.
It's fine.
Okay, Mario, let's go to work.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the matter?
See you guys.
Mario?
Ciao.
See you.
Ciao.
Bye.